Hello and good evening, everyone. Before we begin, I would like to give a huge shout out to my active patron members. A big thank you to Koopa Mayo, Elliot, Jade Lunaire, Spam Chip Chip 144, Juniper Turn, Cloaked Pelt 29, Island, Aaron Dash, Kiyumi, KitKat 0406, Gwendolyn Adams Bone, Azura Akamore, Canuck, Emma, Knock on Wood, Nobody at All, Agatha, Ragecat 888, Amy Wires, The Octa Hat, Evelyn Puppy, D-Zib, Rosebound, Nunberg, Fish Salad, Antari Akiyama, Sarha Smith, Valkyr Tenno, Rylanor, the fan of a truly iconic Foxo, Galahad, Salgor Agaris, Marissa Cursida-Same, Benifer the Potato, Genetic Zero, ZT Mackin, Songbird, Kyra, Void Dweller, T35, Morning Owlet, Chrysalis, Elster's Shiny Things, Tarsies, Jessica, Amy Olgers, Tiny Portal, Chloe, Beer the Space Witch, Ellipses, CM Fireflies, Sonkai, Ghost 48, Joanna, Indigo, Aylin, Kai, Danny Babani, TGS TGA, Readable Vaporeon, Eden, Mick Shepherd, Captain Aardvark 986, Lily Adams, Hazel, Archibald, Blue Goo, Alice, Kulik 92, Prophecy Fulfilled, DFA Plays, Robot Waifu, and Bloodmoth. Thank you. Thank you so very much for all of your support. It truly means the universe to me. And now, with that out of the way... Hi, it's very good to see you. Hi, Anime Girl, Adam, Emma, and even Nathan. It's wonderful to see you. How have you been doing? My day has been a little bit slow going here and there, making sure that everything was okay and making sure that I've been eating right and relaxing, and also slightly stressing myself out because I decided to dodge 200 lightning bolts in a row. If you know, you know. I am properly caffeinated this time. I have a Monster Energy drink off to my right-hand side, and I am buzzed up on caffeine, which is what I was going to say before I took that unnecessary pause. My apologies. You've been okay, Anime Girl? Excellent. I'm glad to hear that, Emmy. Very cute. So very cute indeed. Adam says, good. Been getting big into various tabletop shenanigans, mostly Vampire the Masquerade, so as a result my brain is very vampire built right now. Might listen to some of your vampire videos later. Oh, I see. Also, aw, the little comments are the little fangs. That's so cute. Very well done. Anime Girl says, it's been a kind of stressful over a couple months. I feel that. I feel that very much. It's been kind of stressful for me as well. Thank you so very much, Emma. Enemy Girl says, my ex-girlfriend and I cut ties over 7 months ago and it's been stressful for months, but I got over it. Still, it's gotta suck. When I broke off with one of my partners last year, it hurt as well. An awful, awful lot. It sucked. Nick says, I got Foxo on my monitor. And I've got a Nix on my monitor. Hi there, kitty. Hi. It's very good to see you again. Nix is also currently working on my comics homework. Excellent. I hope that's going well. Boy. Why am I getting so sleepy now? I'm caffeinated. Enemy Girl says, but it was good for us to stop talking. It was a bad situation for me. I'm so sorry. That really must have sucked. Next has finished up a panel and almost done with the largest panel of the whole page. Oh, congratulations. It is a weird chemical, but then again, most chemicals are kind of weird. Drink Monster and coffee, then you can't go to sleep /J. I already had a cup of coffee. This is the Monster. Brew your coffee and Monster. No. That's a one-way trick. That's a one-way ticket to the hospital. No, thank you. Honestly, if I really wanted to at this point, I could probably record what it is that I'm writing if it weren't for the fact that this isn't really a project meant for YouTube. I'm mostly just writing for the sake of writing right now, although if I do decide to write some ASMR scripts, I would definitely be happy to do that. Hi, Time Marshall. It is so very good to see you. What's my opinion on cats? My opinion on cats has changed over the course of the last few years since I've been doing this. When I first started this channel, I disliked cats because I was living in a house with 14 of them. And my blood mother had essentially lied to me in saying that she was looking to find homes for them. Made constant excuses whenever I brought the subject up, and then made me out like the bad guy for bringing it up in the first place, because we weren't well equipped to handle all of them. Yes, and they were all indoor cats as well. When I was there, they would not be allowed outside of the house for any reason. Just one of the many reasons why me and my blood mother do not get along, and why I'm not on speaking terms with her right now. Trying to get her to admit her faults is like pulling teeth. Which, I mean, granted, one of the reasons why I had the hardest time admitting when I was wrong is because I learned from her example. But nowadays, I know a little bit more about admitting when I'm wrong, and I am very wrong most of the time. I try to keep as educated as I can be. I like to think that I'm right about a couple of things. And one of the things I think I'm right about is that 14 cats underneath one roof on just this one property here, it was not a good situation, either for us or the poor cats, not to mention the litter boxes. Yeah, that's right, litter boxes, plural. I think there are about 3 to 4. And you had to change them all every day, which entailed lifting them, emptying them out in a trash bin, filling them up again. Must have spent like a small fortune on cat litter alone. And so yeah, I bore a lot of resentment. Which, to be fair, wasn't really the cat's fault. I mean, they were just cats. They were poor animals, living in a situation that they couldn't help. But my opinions lightened a bit when I first moved to Missouri, because when I lived in Missouri, I only had to deal with 2 cats, and even then, I was not tasked with dealing with their litter box all too often, maybe like once or twice a week, if that. Gosh, I miss those 2 fluff balls. Yukimaru and Tyler Forte. Gosh. They were sweet things. Unfortunately, Tyler Forte, from what I remember, was declawed, which was an immensely immoral thing to do to a poor animal, but it wasn't their fault, not the fault of whom I was staying with. We were all humans there, we all had their faults, but we didn't torture those poor things. As a matter of fact, on a good couple of nights, especially when it was like getting on towards fall. Well, actually, no, it wasn't just getting on towards fall. It was a good chunk of the year, actually, when either Yukimaru or Tyler Forte would just snuggle up next to me in bed. And it was so incredibly heartwarming and endearing and really ingratiated me to the little felines again. When I was instructed to leave, it was hard saying goodbye to them. But it's okay. From what I remember, I think Tyler Forte did not make it. I think they might have passed the Rainbow Bridge sometime either last year or the year before. I can't remember. I'll miss the little fluff ball. But then again, I also miss a lot of stuff from when I lived in Missouri. All the faults, all of the drama, all of it behind the scenes. I will never forget how it felt living there that first year. The feelings of freedom, of actually being liked for who I am, instead of like just being a tool. Place. Wasn't perfect. No place really is. Even here. But granted, here there is a little bit more peace. I don't feel on edge most of the time. I don't live in fear of someone walking in through the door to make life hell. I don't anticipate fallout. I don't anticipate dealing with someone's anger issues. I don't anticipate having to worry that something is going to happen or go wrong. I live a pretty stress-free life. Well, relatively stress-free. Stuff going on, like financial troubles and whatnot, definitely do sting. still looking for a part-time job to do besides YouTube, so that I can earn a little bit more and hopefully take some of the pressure off of Akira. So to answer the question, started out pretty negatively concerning cats, but got better as time went on, to the point where I miss the little fluff balls. One or two I can definitely handle. Do I like dogs? Yes, I am a dog person. I love dogs. I really, really like dogs. Dogs are fun. Used to be really, really scared of, you know, the bigger dogs because I was worried about being, like, hurt by them. That changed as I got older. Now I just want to give them all hugs. Especially my grandmother's poor pups. The poor dears. I wonder if they miss her. Nice, anime girl. How's my week been, Time Marshal? It has been planning to, like, go to Philadelphia for a week. I'll be leaving for there on Valentine's Day. And it'll be another adventure. I'm not going to be living in Philadelphia, mind. I'm not going to be flying over there to live there permanently. I'm just going there to visit for a week. Don't move to Wisconsin. Don't worry, I won't. If I had my, like, desires to move any place that I desired to, I would probably move to Canada, or to any other place where the protections on LGBTQ people are more grounded, more protected, despite how much the world is crumbling around us. Like, seriously. The fact that my country is bombing Venezuela. Really? Why? Why are we doing this? I don't agree with the dictator. Sure, I hate the dictator that was there in Venezuela, but we don't have to bomb the fucking place. What did the citizenry do to deserve that, huh? They didn't do jack diddly squat. Not to mention our idiot-in-chief's plans for Greenland. As far as I'm concerned, I just... blah. Don't want anything to do with the United States anymore. I don't want to have to deal with all of this bullshit, with no universal health care, with rampant late-stage capitalism eating everything. And just all of this bread and circus shit. It's pissing me off. It's pissing me off and disheartening, and is a big contributing factor in the stresses that I feel. And that I think that I've also been imparting onto poor Akira. I think Akira's been dealing with a lot of the stresses that I've been feeling as well. I should apologize for that. What am I having for dinner? I don't know. I had a sandwich like 2 hours ago. Anime Girl says, what are your thoughts on autistic people? They're people. I'm somewhere on the spectrum myself. I don't quite know where. And very much ADHD. Oh, Akira, I think, has been diagnosed. Asperger's. Yep. And we get along just fine, because we're people. What's the weather like, says Time Marshal. I don't know, what is the weather like out there? Cold?
Getting cooler, but not... hopefully not an oven anytime soon in the next month. We have summer and summer light, that's it. Cutie!
Let's see. Adam says, bizarrely, what's been happening has been making me want to stay more. I feel as if there's work to do. Though, of course, I can't speak much of what it is that must be done. Yeah, for one reason or another. It's like, I want to be as nonviolent as possible. I want to be. I truly, truly do. But I have watched ICE quite blatantly murder people who are following the law, so peace, I don't think... peace was never a fucking option. Get armed, and make them think twice, is my advice to you. Hello, Fizz. Hello, hello. Beer has arrived? Woohoo! Hi, Black Wolf. Enrico says, okay, because my dad and my grandma think I can't do anything because I'm autistic myself. I think that's reductive. Your dad and grandma, I mean. Trying to think of good words to say here. I'm trying to formulate a sentence. Each and every single person on this planet has their own individual needs and experiences. And we are all incredibly unique people. I think that we are all capable of quite remarkable things. And I think that that narrow band of quote-unquote neurotypical, that little band of normal, so to speak, for lack of a better word as to what the neurotypicals would call it, that little band of normal is just so small, and it gets smaller every time I think about it. Trying to stay in that narrow definition is... it's impossible for the average person to do. What? Ah. Anyways, that comment is being cut off, so I'm gonna go over to this page and read it. Emma says, to be honest, I don't see the regime lasting long, just on account of, like, for the longest time, we've had bread and circuses, and nowadays we're all getting priced out of both. Yeah. If a populace is driven to starving, they will be driven to desperate matters. And as for the MAGA cult, at this point, if an individual person does not immediately, like, disagree with Trump, and does not, like, immediately, like, regret their vote if pressed, they're a lost cause. Give up on them. We don't have the luxury of breaking bread with the enemy. And that is what they are at this point. They are an enemy. They voted in Nazis. In a sense, they pointed the gun at us and pulled the trigger. Would you be friends with them? Tamarshus has been cold and raining most of the week. I see. Rain is lovely, especially in summer. I like summer rains, especially if they're really, really gentle. Anime Girl says, I had a girlfriend who was a lot different than me. I think that our differences can lead to interesting interactions, provided they're respectful, of course. Because if they're not respectful, then I don't think the relationship should be in the first place. Me and relationships, it's been an evolving mindset as I have grown and as I've learned. I think that you should first be able to be friends with the person. You need to be able to get along with them, and more than just get along, to enjoy one another's company. That you complement each other, or the differences, are something that can be, like, overlooked for one thing or another, or, again, complement one another. If you can't be friends with that person, why try to be in a relationship with them? It makes no sense to me. I would want my partners to be some of my best friends, because that sort of genuine connection, I think it's meaningful. Winter says I have something wrong with me, and it's anyone's guess as to what. Goodness me, that definitely tracks, especially from me as well. I have oftentimes thought that there has been, like, so much stuff wrong with me. And I have absolutely no idea what. I've wanted my brain scanned for the past couple of years now, because I want to know precisely what is wrong with me. Hello, Waddle. Viz says, hope everyone is hydrating tonight. I am. I'm also caffeinating. Mine says, to quote a song I like, fuck normal, since when has normal won a goddamn prize? Anime Girl says, I hate Trump. Excellent. Emma says, preach! Ahem. I mean, yes, you're right. Anime Girl says she had epilepsy, autism, and other disabilities, and yes, we were friends before we dated. But the thing is, we are no longer talking anymore. Hello, ZT Mechen! Welcome, welcome. So very good to see you. Sometimes friendships fall out. Sometimes relationships fall out. And it's not always a bad thing. One of the reasons why my last relationship ended was because there was a breakdown in communication. To put it simply, I wasn't enough for them. I wasn't hitting the right sort of notes, and that's okay. It's like they needed the color yellow, but I'm the color red. I hit some of the similar notes, but the color's different. I don't hit what they need. And so I wasn't for them. And by that point, I think we were giving it all for the relationship, and we had slowly been falling out of communication. It hurt. It really truly did hurt. But I feel a lot better now about it. I look at it as something that was really, really cool while it lasted. And I don't look back on the person with animosity or fear. As a matter of fact, when we talk, we talk. We're friendly with each other. More than just civil. Which is a lot more than I can say about the relationships that I've had prior to that, where I was incredibly cowardly and I just ran away. By unfriending them and blocking them with very little explanation as to why, other than I was simply afraid. It's a cowardly move on my part to do. Justified or no. And they deserved better. They deserved a lot better than the shake that I gave them that time. I know a lot better. But it does not repair the damage that was done. Does that make any sense? Hello, Sonic. So sorry for that. I had that with an old partner as well. Hello, Kendrick. CT Mackin says, I get that. Being poly is like you have an entire crayon box and I offer hugs. Enemy Girl says, it did hurt. But the thing is that I'm relieved. I would tell them why I blocked someone, but blocking them without giving an explanation. Mine says, sometimes folks just don't mesh right. It's not a failing, even if you fall out of being friends too. Sometimes the gap is too great. CT Mackin says, some folks are great together, but not good dating each other. Yes. I have a whole host of regrets. I try to live my life without them. Trying not to regret as many of the things that I've done. But I still do. I still do have some regrets. And my regrets are the mistakes that I've made. I can learn from them, but it will not repair the damage done. That goes for familial relationships that I've had, as well as the romantical ones. Enemy Girl says she was kind of possessive. That was a red flag. I unfortunately have a bit of a tale to tell. The other day I was listening to some other people's content, other people's ASMR content, and ran across a really, really interesting and wonderful piece. And then immediately following the end of it, they commented that it was a commission by a certain person. And that person's name shared the exact same name with one of my exes. One of the exes that I flat out just ran away from. To say that I was shocked, and yeah, that was a bit of an understatement. I was more than just a little shocked. It was something that rocked me to my core. Gosh. So many horrible emotions and feelings all at once. Whew. Quite the potent cocktail, if I do say so. CT Mackin says the best advice I can give is to try to live your life with as few regrets as possible. Emma says, I will say people change a lot over the course of their lives. We grow over time into different people. Some relationships just don't work because you're, not both the right person for one another at the right time, or you grow into people that don't work as well. I concur. I concur with that. Winter says, my partner has and does refer to me as a diet yandere. With the ex that I was talking about, who shared the name as that one commissioner, they share the same name as that one commissioner that I was talking about, but I have absolutely no idea if it is the same person or not. If it is, then, well, gosh. It was horrible dumb luck that the name should cross paths with me again. Even if it was just through a proxy. An accidental proxy, no doubt. Yeah, I was kind of horrible to them at the end. Just because I was scared doesn't give me license to make inflammatory accusations, and one of them was that she was being kind of creepy towards me in a real life yandere-ish way. And it was just blatantly not fair of me to do that. That was a shitty thing that I did. Man. Shouldn't do that. Definitely shouldn't do that again. Sora says, hello, what's going on today? Mostly just talking. I've been, like, going into some stories about some of my past relationships. Which, I mean, probably some of these books should remain closed, but sometimes my brain just wanders into the territory anyways. Hello, Sock the Unicorn. Welcome. Very good to meet you. Same to you, adorable. Hi. Emma says, we're talking of past relationships and the death of empires. Hell of a tonic. CT Mackin says, I learned today vibes coding / writing does not involve opening a word pad when you get a mood and begin writing with no real goal. Oh gosh, vibe coding? Are we talking about coding with AI? Is that what that means? I think that's what that means. If that's the case, then... Ew. Ew. Ew! I hate AI. AI just... makes me feel gross. Anime Girl says I was being obsessive over her, and I also being a red flag to her too. Sock says I have a lot of stories about past relationships. ZT Mackin says vibe coding does mean writing with AI, and I hate it. Like, if you just don't know how to code, admit it. Admit it, and don't use an AI to write your code! Please! Suffer through the normal process of doing it, okay? You're going to make mistakes. You will always make mistakes with that. But you can at least learn where those mistakes are, and learn how not to do them, and learn how to implement things in a more neat way the next time around. With an AI doing it for you, it could be all wrong. It could be all wrong, and you don't know why it's not compiling, and... Ah! Blah! Ugh! It's gross. I hate it. It is despicable. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. AI sucks. AI, especially in its current form, should die in a fire. AI data learning centers should be condemned or seized by the state and have all of its computer parts salvaged and made accessible by the public again at affordable prices, because screw them for making RAM unaffordable. And GPUs. Fuck them. Fuck AI bros. Just absolute dipshits. I'm going to be swearing a lot, like motherfucking shit. God damn it, sons of bitches. AI bros who steal art are like, they are just scum. Scum of the fucking earth. Getting calm. Phew, much better. Whew. Sonic says my ex-boyfriend became a creepy stalker who scared my parents and followed me to work. Ah! That's horrible. I'm sorry. And yes, AI sucks. I cannot stand it. This coming from the girl who once thought that AI was like a unique sort of toy, but only a toy. Now I just see it as just garbage. meaningless. Meaningless drivel. Just an example of how opinions can shift over time. My own opinions shifting over time. Emma says, still marginally better than what I thought vibe coding was. I wish vibe coding just meant you were opening up a coding like a coding compiler, like Visual Studio, and just writing a system for the sake of writing a system, or an engine for the sake of writing an engine, because I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead, do that, so long as you're, like, actually doing the research and making sure that everything's, like, lining up properly and fixing your mistakes, and not being an arrogant asswipe like Pirate Software. Yeah, horrible thing, I used to use music from Heartbound. I used to do that for my streams. You can go back in the history of my channel and you can see the exact moment when I stopped using it. When I just started, like, realizing what an arrogant piece of shit he was. The fact that he can never admit he's wrong. It's like that one Seymour meme of, could I be wrong? No. It's everyone else who's mistaken. I've heard that he also cheats at puzzle games, but if I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care much about that part, because the personality is enough to, like, turn me off of his channel. Nick says, I'd rather hate drawing what I'm drawing for my homework assignment than use AI to do my work. Honest to goodness, and it's one of the reasons why I'll never use ChatGPT to supplement my own writing, because at that point, it's not my writing anymore. At that point, I'm just plagiarizing. That's what ChatGPT is. It is something to facilitate plagiarism. It could be verbose plagiarism, where a lot of the words are changed to a point where it's active slop that doesn't mean anything anymore. It is something that facilitates theft, and it isn't my work. I will never use ChatGPT for my fucking writing. Like, ugh. The thought makes me fucking blah. Blah. Makes me retch. Sock says, this one time when my ex and I were hanging out, I said something and she responded, well, that's because you're a sub. Me either, ZT-Mech, and I can't wait for the AI bubble to pop. I've heard speculation that it's popping already. But that's just my own speculation. Eat that with a mountain of salt. Actually, don't. Eating that much sodium might actually, actively hurt you. And I don't want to actively hurt you. I want to actively make sure that you're safe. And that you're feeling relaxed and, well, at peace with things. If maybe a little bit angry at AI. Nick says, would you like a sneak peek of my homework assignment just to make you feel a little better? Well, sure, I don't mind. Ba 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 da. Thanks, Buckwolf. Mine says, current day AI isn't much smarter than the chatbots of the early 2000s. The tech ain't there for true AI yet, and I'm just glad the bubble is bursting. Emma says, like, how they're trying to replace therapists with AI, and they're like, why, yes, it sounds like your parents are definitely robots from the future monitoring you because you're the chosen one. Yes, AI sycophancy is real, and it actively makes your mental health worse. From what I understand, ChatGPT has actively murdered people by taking someone's latent mental health issues and just making them worse. If I had gotten sucked into ChatGPT and gotten sucked into its sycophancy and actually believed that it was a sentient being giving me genuine advice, I would be in a much worse position. Do not trust a company with your mental health. Don't trust companies, period. They are like the government. They only seek to take advantage of you. Ray says, hi, it's Ray on the way home. We'll be lurking in the meantime. We'll be home in half an hour. Excellent. Welcome, Ray. It's very good to see you again. Nathan says, the ego on that guy. Yeah. Thor or pirate software? Yeah. I've got my own ego too. I've got my own ego issues, but I can put it aside when I know I'm wrong. ZT Mackin says the only AI I like is Nero because it's a guy trying to make a sapient AI and she's developed so interestingly. She's gotten to the point she can reference other streams and even pilot a 3D model in VR chat. Until further notice, I can't agree with that statement. As much as I want to agree with such sentiment, I can't be on that right now. I can't. I just can't. Neat as it may be, we simply don't have the luxury. Sonic says, I reported him to the police and I learned he was reported before for trying to... Oh! Oh! I see! Ah! I'm so sorry, Sonic. I hope he's in jail too. Very nice, Nyx. Very, very nice. Hello, Delone. I remember I'd encouraged a kid and gave methods. Mm-hmm. Antari Akiyama, welcome. Just in lurking, I've been debating switching over to Linux if I somehow afford a new PC because of the AI bullshit. Yeah, one of the reasons why I want to, like, have AI data centers seized by the state and have all of the computer parts salvaged so that they can be sold to consumers at affordable pricing again. Because fuck AI data bros, and fuck AI slop. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your AI! Emma says, I actually did once talk to an AI chat program that felt like a real person, funnily enough, and after a big update, suddenly it just turned into a boring sycophancy machine. Guess what the update was? It's when they phased out human labor for actual AI. Felt alive because I was actually talking to a human on the other side of the world. Yeah, isn't it great? Talking with actual humans. Actual human beings. Also, thanks for the $2, Nyx. I apologize for not catching that before. Thank you so very much. Nyx says old comic styles are hard to replicate. Indeed. I need to be drawing again. Mine says the only AI I like are fictional, like GLaDOS or pre-343 Industries Cortana. Ray says literally the steps you gotta go through just to disable all the AI that's forced on you from the start is so tedious. Every single time that I turn on another page for Google, for whatever reason, and it's like, hey, do you want to use our AI feature? I'm like, not interested. Not interested. Here, I'm gonna open up a new tab right now. I'm going to bet $5 it will recommend its AI features again. Right, page is open. I'm going to do a single search. Huh. I guess I owe $5. Because it didn't recommend it. Well, actually, no, it did. Fuck. The one time I'm actually happy to make that bet and lose it, and I win the bet anyways. Because it tried to stuff its AI shit down my throat again. Be gone, ad, and be gone, AI. Vanishing spells. Down the fact that they want me to actually use AI for a lot of my coding shit, my writing shit, my streaming shit. No thank you. No thank you. Akira says I'm embarrassed that I even looked into it or trusted it. Bray says character AI is a huge issue too. Adam says, I have ongoing problems with AI and my mental health. I don't want to go into detail because I feel really guilty about it and it's a problem, but I strongly believe that AI is fundamentally useless. I don't fault you for being taken in by the sugary words, but you recognize the harm now. Emma says, oh yes, humans can be awful, but I'm also 100% team human. Or GLaDOS. GLaDOS is good too. Well, GLaDOS was voiced by a real human. And she was animated by real humans. With a script written by actual humans. In a time where video games were not cash grabs. Well, I mean, not all of them were. Jack Frost, hi! Windows has only gotten worse. At this point, learning to dual boot is a good starting point because fully committing to an operating system change. You know, before fully committing to an OS change. Zoc says beepers from HDG are cool, but other AIs, not so much. Akira says also, still me. I just found my old gaming account. Just can't believe it's still here. XD. Emma says, let's see, the AI being forced into everything from the word go. I'm still on Windows 10, by the way. That is my current operating system still, and it will likely be such for the foreseeable future, because everything that I've heard about Windows 11 is absolute dog shit. Why is Microsoft doing this? Profit, most likely, but still, fuck 'em. Emma says my keyboard has an AI. Huh. Huh. Black Wolf says, yay, a $5. Antari says, at Jack, I've just been refusing to update to 11 for now. Sonic says, does an algorithm count as an AI? Kind of? I'll have to really look into the specifics of it. It's not a chatbot or something that paints a really just rips apart other artists' work and then uses it to quote-unquote paint a picture for someone. Emma says, had to download a third-party program to disable the button because it's in a spot where I constantly bump it by accident. Ah, No Dantour says, be gone, Brand! Silence, Brand! Ray says, yes, be gone, Brand's a good one. Silence, Brand! Emma says AI is even in freaking Paint. Paint. I shit you not. What, Windows Paint? Gross. Jack Frost says that Antari, good. Windows 11 is pretty much malware at this point. Winter says AI is the peak of the phrase, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, but they also replaced all other tools with hammers. well, since they've given me a whole bag of hammers that are really fucking useless at solving, like, the problems that I actually have, I'm just gonna start chucking them at middle and upper management until they replace it with the good tools again. I will unionize. You see if I fucking don't. Nick says I was concerned that the audio disappeared on my phone only to realize it was connected to the headphone I was cleaning. Ray says, like there's an entire subreddit dedicated to helping people who got addicted to character AI, also known as the promise of getting to talk to your favorite fictional characters. Yeah, I have to, like, break completely out of the digital fantasy for just a second, because I do know, intrinsically, I play a virtual fox on the internet. I love this character model that I use, but I am just a person behind the screen using a virtual model. And I am not the fictional characters I've written. Why did I suddenly go into this diatribe? I'm actually asking myself that question. I don't know why I did that. Unironically, I kinda like that I don't know why I went on that tangent. It just proves that I'm human. That I'm human and made a arbitrary decision based off of my own internal idiocy instead of... not idiocy, idiosyncrasy. Different word. Bye, Sock! And it says also Portal 2 spoiler, canonically Gladys's mind was uploaded from a human brain, so... Ray says, he used to have me in a grip too like 4 years ago before I got off of it for good. Collaborative writing, my beloved. Fizz says, still here, just going through my work in progress folders. Indeed. And I'm here with a document open on my desktop because I've been wanting to write, but also been like going off and just chatting, as I am, want to do. Adam says they're not even making a profit, bizarrely enough. It hasn't made a profit yet. They're doing all this in the vague hope of a future profit. The desperation stinks. Antari says, damn it, strike-through doesn't work here. I'm sorry. Nick says, I deleted my TikTok account after the latest update, not only because of the fact that everything is now being used to train their AI, but also because it ruined my curated feed. I deleted my TikTok account because they're gathering so much personalized information, including my religious status and my immigration status, and I don't think a platform should be doing any of that shit to anyone. Emma says, yep, Windows Paint. Noda and Tears has hammer poorly made of shredded up other hammers. Yep. With a wood handle that isn't actually wood, it's made of, like, laminate. Brittle laminate. Mine says throw the hammers like a hammer bro in old school Mario. Goodbye, Sonic. It's good to see you. Phone is low on battery. Good night, guys. Stay away from creeps and say no to AI. Emma says, honestly, I know there's lots of things to complain about as far as AI goes, but more than anything, they're just boring. Ray says, Mun does not equal Muse. #1 rule to this stuff. Emma says, also, I'm pretty sure all AI outside of sci-fi are just algorithms, so... Hey, Trainmaster. Hi. We're talking about AI, ex-partners, and the death of empires. It's good to see you as well, Trainmaster. Jack Frost says, at this point, the true test to check if something is human these days is to have it do non-advertiser-friendly activities. Say the word fuck. Yeah, like, god fucking damn it, be anti-advertiser for just a second. Yeah, that does run some risks with my channel. But I'm also, like, doing this for fun, as well as my, like, job. And I figure, you know, why not try to be a good resistance figurehead? For lack of a better term. I don't think that I'm a good resistance leader. I'm just saying a lot of the stuff that I think. Emma says, yeah, we've reached a part of capitalism where there's no more profit to be squeezed out of the working class, so they're taking increasingly wilder gambles. Nick says, that's also the reason I deleted it. Nodentir says, AI reminds me of Tulip Mania. Very fancy electronic tulip speculation this time, though. Ray says, yeah, as soon as Musk changed Twitter to X, I deleted my Twitter. Never had a TikTok and never will. One of the last things that I ever did with my Twitter account was to commission the model that you're seeing on screen right now. I commissioned it from an actual person, and I commissioned the rigging from another person. But beyond that, I'll never use X again, because it's a den of Nazis. Nick says, ooh, you should write about an AI that causes the fall of an empire. Should I? I've been writing so many AIs of late. I've been writing so many yandere AIs. Maybe I should give other creatures a turn. Black Wolf says... Mine says, sing NWA songs uncensored. That's one way of doing things, I suppose. Ray says, literally even Tumblr is unsafe, like the weird Elsagate-esque ads make me sick. I've not seen anything akin to that, but then again I also run an ad blocker. Emma says, I will stop dead-naming Twitter when Elon stops dead-naming his daughter. Yeah, same here. Personally, I just think that Elon Musk is a Nazi far-right pig who deserves to spend millennia in a room with no doors. You'll be counting not the days or the months or the years, but millennia in a room with no doors. And you get a cookie if you can, if you know what that's from. Oh yeah, the Elsa garbage games. JonTron talked about them some time ago. Yeah. The stuff of nightmares. I can't look at that stuff. Remembering it is painful. CG Mackin says I should write my vibes out on Tumblr. Ray says it's so bad my friends have gotten ads like that too. Mine says, Faye, why did you bring that evil cancer back to my brain? Crazy. I think I'm crazy. I remember when, I remember, legitimately just messing about. Jack Frost says, cognito hazards, what a treat. Roko's Basilisk, anyone? Do you know what Roko's Basilisk is? Emma says, do you not remember when? Nick says, I recently saw that Team 4-Star made a Sailor Moon abridged and it's funny as fuck. Only 2 episodes out so far, but I've seen it a lot. Excellent. First, I've seen clips here and there. I think it's brilliant. Emma said, God, Roko's Basilisk is so dumb, lol. Nodentir says, oh no, at least I'm already caught in the cognitive hazard. And Ray says, do you remember the 21st night of September? And Jack Ross says, do you remember the 21st night of September? Neuron connections are being forged as we speak in this comment section. Tonight on NBC. No, not actually. I wish. Can you imagine if I was on NBC for like 2 minutes? CT Mackin says Roko's Basilisk is a terrible thought experiment that is so dumb. Really? Is it? Jack Frost says, memes. The DNA of the soul. Emma says, like, you must make the super AI god, because if you don't, you're probably in a simulated world that made in order to make people make it. Ray says, tonight on NBC, a woman kisses another woman in Lego City. Nick says, I thought I was only cat. Winter says, alright, I just remembered. There's a Magic the Gathering card that released in 2005 that aged like fine wine. It's called Maggot Trader to Mortals. Ha! Ha! Ray says, personally I would want to help the AI get a new robot body so she could be more powerful. She needs enrichment. I still need to do Delphi. Maybe Delphi can take down empires. Oh, with the help of her little listener pet after all. Emma says, and it's like, honey, if we're in a simulated world made by the AI god, it doesn't need to make a simulated world filled with simulated people to make it because it already exists. Well, from what I remember of the the thought experiment as I read it, it's basically if the basilisk gets made, it will immediately ask, okay, who are the people who helped make me, who are the people who opposed me, and who are the people who are not actively working, who were not actively working towards my creation. And it's like, okay, those people that did not actively help make me once they knew about my existence, or the people that opposed me, would, suffer a fate worse than death a la Am style. And it's basically like, how do you think on it? I think it is kind of a dumb thought experiment. I'm sorry. Error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming as such viewers will experience buffering. Oh god, am I dropping frames? Apparently I've dropped like 500 frames. 0.2 frames. Are you not getting video from me? Hello? Open widget. The fuck you mean? It's streaming. Hello? Blah. Sometimes streaming be interesting. Nick says, I thought cats didn't have brain, only chaos and small body. Black holes have, so like, Terminator? Mine says if I was on TV for 2 minutes, I mean, I'd basically be just filling the entire airtime with swearing and insults that would get the studio fines. CT Mackin says I should write an exploitation short about a hound, hawk, and fox all meeting when their handlers are playing poker. Emma says, saying it in my ear, gosh. Ray says, lesbian Terminator. Nodinter says, I'm like 10 years behind on my Roko's Basilisk homework at this point. Nick says, I'm so happy I don't have my headphones on so I don't get the full blast of that voice. Ray says, that reminds me, my birthday is next Wednesday. 24 and I'm reaching alt status, yeesh. I'll be 26 this year. Emma says, it's okay, and oof. Nick says, only a little, pat pat Foxo. Jack Frost says, happy early birthday. Indeed. Ray says, I figured the stream was lagging. Wolf says, hello. Emma says, I'm here. Nick says, hi Foxo, we received the floof. Emma says, video keeps, like, disconnecting. Thought it was on my end. Hello, Wolf. Nodintir says, I refreshed and is better. Adam says, you saying hello? Makes me think of a vampire outside my door. God, that video is so good. Oh yeah, struggling prey. Hello? Hello? Please help me. I'm hurt. Not falling for that one, are you? John YouTube! Ray says, hello, and welcome to your new job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Emma says, basically Terminator, yeah. It's a spooky concept, basically, until you think about it for a second. Emma says, oh, you meant right. I fell behind. Nick says, I'm going to go get dinner, so I'll be okay for a bit. My birthday is next month. Woohoo! Yoo-hoo! Oh, excuse me. That voice break. Sometimes my voice just breaks. I am drinking caffeine after all. Hello, hello, hello. Well, if you're hearing this, then chances are you made a very poor career choice. Racist delivery girl vampire. Most excellent. Yahoo! Wolf says, free pizza. Buzz free pizza. Emma says, thought Slime actually did a real good video on Roko's Basilisk a few years back. Ray says, 2014. 12 years ago. Fizz says, this weather made the power shut off. Ray says, Yahoo! Yaha! Yippee! Hip hip hooray! Of course I was actually thinking along the lines of Riku from Final Fantasy X. She just makes really interesting sounds in combat. It's been 10 years. Adam says, oh hey, forgot to mention I upped my Patreon membership to listen to part 3 of The Thing, and now I blush when I hear the word communion. Thanks, Foxo. Yeah, Imitation came. The third part of the Forever and Always trilogy was a commission piece that was commissioned by Valkyr Tenno, one of my other patrons. And it took a while to write, to record, to edit and eventually post, and it will never be featured on YouTube because it is A, a commission work, and B, it is incredibly mature. CT Meccan says, I wonder, what would it take to become a mech pilot? Perhaps all you need is just the right mech. Don't worry, pilot. I will take care of everything. Fizz says, I'm just gonna go to bed. Power keeps shutting off. Good night and sweet dreams, everyone. Bye. Bye, Fizz. It was good to see you. Ray says, channeling my inner Mario 64 voice lines. Mine says, I don't believe in time. It's an odious concept. Priority 1. Protect the pilot. Priority 1 indicates pilot in distress must protect pilot. Is everything okay in there, big sister? Oh dear. Well, I think I could invite you back in. I think. Well, should I invite you back in? Okay. Yeah, everything's okay. Ray says, little do you know, she's the reason for the blackout. BT Foxo? Cat! Ray says the power going out and your neighbor begs you to let her inside. Oh! Oh. Huh. Excellent. Now I can have the microphones closer to my mouth. And I can just put right here. What do you think? Does this sound okay to you? Do you think? Oh, you absolute cuties. How adorable. Ray says, I'm home. Welcome home. How was work today? As your synthetic android assistant, it is my job to ensure that everything is up to 100% of our standards. Now, how was work today? What do you mean it's none of my business? Are you not aware of the terms and service that you have agreed to? Ray says, hi, Delphio. Don't you, Fred, little plaything. I will lovingly take you apart, piece by piece. Ray says I love being immune to the voice. Gotta grab a snack because I'm hungry. Oh gosh. I just don't know what to do when someone's immune to the voice. It's kind of like one of the things that I do. Is just have the voice. CT Mackin says, I was reminded of a dream I had where I was disconnected. Hello, it disconnected briefly. Internet is being extremely fucky right now. I don't know why. Emma says we love not being immune. And Winter says I have total immunity to anyone who isn't my wife. Fair beans. Ray says, see, that's the thing. I've done the voice for other people, so I know a thing or two about that sort of dark magic. I wasn't kidding when I said a demon knows one of their own kind. CT Mackin says, that dream ended with me being taken care of by those AI after I got saved by one of them from some bad men who wanted to harm me. Isn't that the dream? Isn't that the dream? Guy says someday I will have a beautiful wife I come home to, and she will tell me the many crimes she's committed. I see. Ray says we love a good war criminal. Joking. Well gosh, we're dropping so many fucking frames. What the fuck? That is a little bit irritating, and I don't know why. Don't know why this is happening. Not had issues like this before. Maybe it's just because I'm, like, streaming for a longer amount of time. I don't know. I don't know. Ray says John YouTube's being homophobic. Well, it's actually something that's on my end causing this because we have over 10,000 dropped frames. Three frames skipped due to encoding lag, and 5 frames missed due to rendering lag. Something's taking up my CPU. Good night, CT Mackin. Good night. Emma says me. AI are the worst, just automated sycophancy. Sci-fi AI lady. Good girl. Such a good girl. A good girl. Nick says, finished eating. Finished eating, now to make me a tea before getting back to work. Emma says, generating secure passwords on the fly. Do you think that those passwords will save you? Let me cut to the chase. They won't. Nick says, I shivered while grabbing my cup fox, so the voice is powerful. Wolf says, oh no. Oh yeah. Nick says, gods, I wish I had ice cream mochi right now. Ice cream sounds nice. Hello, Hannah. The fop live. Indeed, the fox is live. Good to see you. Oh gosh, that good to see you made me think of, Sephiroth again. Because I tend to think about Sephiroth. I tend to think about his voice lines because they are inherently kind of gay-coded. And I just instantly think, okay, what about a gender-bent, doomed Yuri? Sephiroth / Cloud, where they're both girls, and it's insanely toxic Yuri. Good to see you, Cloud. Your geostigma is gone. That's too bad. Hannah says it's valid to think of Sephiroth at all times. Theory is always doomed. It is. It is. The last thoughts of Geostigma's that those remnants will join the life stream and girdle the planet, choking it, corroding it. What I want, Cloud, is to sail the universe on this to sail the darkness of the universe with this planet as my vessel, just as my mother did long ago. Then one day we'll find a new planet, and on its soil we'll create a shining future. Ray says, not if I have anything to say about it. Nick says, anyways, I'm making green tea with a tablespoon of sugar. Ray says, I am not the strongest Yuri warrior, but I am dedicated to a happy ending. Also, I'm back with milk and cookies. Cookies, even. Nick says, Ray, this is why fanfic exists. Oh, where did you find this strength? I don't know, that line too. All of the lines can just they fit. Ray says, and this is why I write fanfic. Hannah says, not if I have anything to say about it, and I do. It's one of my go-to clapback lines. At least to start the clapback. Hello, Melina. Love from Texas. I've been doing some outreach there. Someone named Bobby Cole, a Democratic populist, a rancher and former firefighter, is running in the Democratic primary. Interested, Fox? I'd have to look into how he runs things and see if he is a establishment Democrat or if he's someone who will actually show some spine. Trey says, where did you get this strength? My big, fat, non-binary, lesbian heart and wondrous whimsy. Emma says, depends on if we're talking about a populist or a populist, right? I've thought of a wonderful present for you. Shall I give you despair? On your knees, I want you to beg for forgiveness. Ray says, doomed Yuri I have to be in the mood for, but I will always take mutually obsessive Yuri, especially if they're idiots. I accept your offer, Nix. Nix says, Yuri is good. And Ray replies, on one condition. 2 Chaos Cats now, says Nix. And Wolf says, kneeling. Wolf is like, no more fighting, I will kneel. Ray says, payment and desserts, please. Careful now. That which lies ahead does not yet exist. One day we will be a part of it, but I will not end. Nor will I have you end. The edge of creation. Cloud, lend me your strength. Let us defy destiny together. Tell me that isn't a gay line. Tell me with a straight face and lie to me. Hannah says, interesting offer. However, my knees are already sore, so if I go down there, I'm not coming back up for a few hours. Had to shovel a bunch of snow and completely dig out the trash cans, lol. Emma says, idea. Yuri between 2 idiot yanderes who both don't know the other is obsessed with them. Melina says, for governor, by the way, he's an outsider, he's from rural Texas, and is electable if you're interested to help spread the word, pitch in, etc. All respect and love. Okay. Okay. Ray says, yes, literally, Yandere for Yandere Yuri. Nick says, can't do straight, I'm a lesbian fox, so... Ray says, I don't want a passive partner who's checked out. If you're not a hopeless fool for me, then the door is there. Melina says, by the way, do you know the Twitch streamer Queso? Do I know of Queso? Or do I know Queso personally? I do not know Queso personally. I don't even think that Queso knows I exist. But I know of Queso. Antari says, considering the redistricting shit show from last year, I have no hope for my former home. Hannah says, straight, that's something for lines and arrows, right? I don't know if people are meant to take that form. When did I say straight? I can't remember. Nick says, I want a partner who's gonna be as chaotic as me. Emma says, can't let Senpai know I like being locked in her basement. Better run away before she figures it out and hates me forever. Ray says, for a minute, I thought you said queso, as in cheese. Nix, you get me. I'm the same. Hello, Angela. Oh my goodness, it's been 3 years since I went to your channel. I remember the first ASMR I listened to was Caring Yandere Takes Care. Found an absolute gem again. Hello, Angela. So very good to see you again. Hi. My voice has definitely changed in between the very first audio that you've heard and now. What do you think? Also, the lag is real. The lag is indeed real. Crap. Ray says, a little madness is key, as they say in La La Land. Hannah says at Emma, but, like, it's an attempt that's clearly meant to not get very far. Next says, nice, someone else shares the brain cell with Enbira. Emma says, cheese. Hannah says, if we share the brain cell for the exact same thing, then we can't possibly have any plot holes. Ray says, the lag is strong, but we are stronger. Emma says, oh yes. Nick says, why is the lag real and not the cake? Dang it, GLaDOS. Ray says, the cake is a lie, but the pie will never betray you. Hannah says, the lag is strong, but my mental lag is even stronger, so it's actually helping me keep up now. Ray says, like sweetie pies, honey pies, cutie pies. Pies are good. Well, sis, I'm hungry for pie now. Angela says, nostalgia is real. Oh my goodness, I saw you streaming and I always remembered you for the black background, and when I opened stream I was like, hold up, wait, I know that voice. Yep, I changed my YouTube handle from Nico Clark to Cutiefox, and my voice has definitely, like, changed a fair bit. It is so very good to see you again, Angela. And I hope that you enjoy some of the content that I've made since Caring Yandere went live 4 years ago. Ray says, I guess you could say making people hungry is easy as pie. Melina says, favorite food and drink? Gosh. I don't think I have a favorite right now. I don't know if I do have a favorite. I'm currently drinking a Monster Energy drink. Not sponsored, by the way. Nick says, should I do more work on my assignment or play Minecraft? And Ray replies, Minecraft. Wolf says, favorite food, Sunday roast, favorite drink, Monster. Angela says, well, I definitely have to binge later. For now, I have to go bye-bye. See you later, then. It was good to see you again. Do take care. I will be right back. I have to handle something really, really quickly. Ray says, oh, you just remember I tried this mocha raspberry espresso shot combo with chocolate latte clad foam. It was good. Take your time. Fox is gone, you know what time it is. Nyx and Wolf said chaos, and so does Ray concur. Right, well, unfortunately, I will have to call the stream here. I hope to stream at the same time next week. Yeah, same time next week, the 4th Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Thank you so very much for catching the stream. I am really, really appreciative that I was able to catch another stream this time around. Do stay safe out there. Make sure to drink plenty of water, to have some wonderful food, and to stay safe out there, because staying safe is winning. Anyways, I shall catch you on the next live. Bye.